right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Alpha Insights. We are going to fill in the details of how we can rescue our retail bankers. Okay, let's talk about our team. We've got pretty much the perfect mix of people. We've got 3 bankers here. We can't ask for more validation than that, really. On top of that, we've got 2 amazing management consultants. And finally, my friend Mark is both a professional software engineer and he's also doing his master's thesis in machine learning. And I'm myself a PhD in machine learning with professional experience in data science. Okay, let's talk about what we do. Okay, we are all about creating additional revenue streams for banks. And we do this by analyzing customer data. Okay, and doing this, we also improve customer relations with the bank. And the bank, in turn, provides personalized deals and financial advice to its customers. So it's a triple win situation, actually. Next. Okay, this is how the data flows. So we get consumer data from the banks. Okay, we crunch it, and we send recommendations back to the banks, which the banks then turn into consumer recommendations. Next one, please. Okay, we all know AI technology is a game changer. Okay. And we see a lot of banks moving into this kind of segment. And fortunately, we've got all the expertise we need in our team. And so, yes, that's more than most fintech startups actually have. And this is our technologies, our USP. Let's go. Okay, how do we make money? It's very simple. The banks obviously get commissions from their affiliate partners, and we get a share of that. And obviously, we also charge setup fees and maintenance fees. Right? So where do we go from now? Well, we need to create an MVP, okay? And in order to test it, we actually need real data. And we can get hold of real data by cooperating with existing B2C solutions, okay? Or also, there are some incubators and other facilities that we can employ. Yeah, after we've done that, we want to approach VCs, and we actually want to roll this out at multiple banks. Thank you very much.
Perhaps you could elaborate a little bit on the legal side of your project, especially in terms of opting in by the customer, or do you think you need any consent?
Exactly. So we have got an opt-in model, definitely, right? So the customer needs to click. So we are the banks are inserting, their recommendations based on our recommendations in their PFM, so in the personal finance managers. Okay, we have an opt-in model. The banks will ask the consumers if they want to use our tools. And apart from that, our solution is going to be in-house. So we won't have access to the real data that the banks have, but we just have access to some sort of tuning parameters that we can use in order to improve our algorithms. But we don't have access to the data. And we will train probably on historical data, and we might get some historical data on the side as well in order to improve our services.
And how do you want to use Figo to validate your model?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so Figo will actually give us the opportunity to receive in the terms of like beta testing. So obviously we need to ask some consumers to take part in this beta testing, but then we can actually get data from several different banks. Okay, and because we ask for consent, we basically can recommend any kind of stuff. So there's no, we're not really. We could provide our own PFM, for example, to do that, and we don't ruin the reputation of any bank or anything. No. Okay.
So you said you're giving recommendations. That would be the first question. What kind of recommendations? And the second one is, as far as I know, there's a lot of companies out doing more or less the same stuff. So what is different? What you do, what others don't do?
Okay. So first point is, for example, a very good example is if we see from user transactions that they're missing some sort of insurance, for example. Okay. Then we can send a recommendation to the bank. Okay, come on, offer this guy an insurance. If we see he's spending too much money on some stuff, based also on where he is living, we can also tell the bank, okay, look at this guy or whatever, and offer him some better deal. We could also access money, for example, if people have too much money in their account, they don't know how to invest it, then we can make recommendations as well based on that. And we can cluster the data and stuff so we can really understand the consumers very well. Secondly, we are B2B2C. We're not B2C. We haven't found any solution or any project which is really doing B2B2C, right? There are a lot of people working with personal finance managers and this kind of stuff, but we haven't found anyone who is doing B2B2C. And also, of course, our technology is our big USP. So you've got to trust us on that. Yeah, right.
What?
Okay.
That's USP. I'm sure about that. Banks at the moment do some kind of analysis in this way. What are you going to do better than them? And what do banks at the moment? What do banks do? Just to understand for me.
Right. Well, we don't really know what banks are doing at the moment. Okay. We just know they're not really doing a lot of affiliate marketing. We know that some banks have some affiliate marketing going on in their online interfaces, banking interfaces. But what we see, for example, in terms of, so there's some indicators we can use in order to assess the level of technology that's going on in the banks. For example, one thing is transaction categorization. Okay, and we see it doesn't really work very well. So we can only assume, you know, that they actually don't have very sophisticated algorithms at this point. However, we know that a lot of banks are moving into this, so we know that there are a lot of banks working on it. So, yeah. That's basically the answer.
I was just wondering if I really want to get any advice from my bank. If I don't know if I spend too much on food or something. So I was wondering if you did any end customer validation. Like you say you're B2B2C, but what is it what banks really want to go into, or what do they want to suggest their customers? Because that's what you should focus on.
Okay, so I mean, basically, banks are interested in recommending all sorts of products, okay, because they get commission, okay. But obviously, financial products like credits, for example, would be very interesting. We don't have any problem with that because we are not actually doing the recommendations ourselves, but the banks are. So it's their problem. Like if they, have problems with any kind of regulations. Secondly, yes, we did some validation. So we asked a lot of people here at the event whether they would want to use such a product, and actually yes, I mean, and we see it as well in personal finance managers. I mean, you know, there's a huge interest from the end consumer in this. Yeah.
Actually, you want to team up with banks. I know actually banks are looking into that space, so I definitely think there's a market. I also think it's a very interesting market, but just from personal painful experience, I know how it is to collaborate with a bank. Like how do you want to make sure that you're not getting old on trying to integrate with a bank and finding the right partner?
Yeah, I mean, the question is not how to find a bank who wants to cooperate with us. We already got some banks who have shown like a lot of interest. But the question is how can we stay independent so we can roll out different solutions. Okay. Right. Thank you.